He's getting older.
Pour some sugar on me!
Oh, hit the volume!
But not wiser.
Everybody has affinity for coffee.
This is The Lefty Show.
Welcome, everybody, to The Lefty Show. I am your host, Lefty. Glad to be here with all of you today, Tuesday, the 7th of October in the year of our spaghetti monster, 2014, for episode 99 of The Lefty Show. Hope to put on a great show for each and every one of you today. Thank you to everybody that has been watching, liking, favoriting, and subscribing on YouTube. Is that still playing? Oh, yeah, it is. Look at that in the background. Thank you to everybody that's been watching, liking, favoriting, subscribing on YouTube. YouTube.com/LeftyOX is where you can go to find the show in its YouTube formation. Thank you to everybody that has been sharing the show. Thank you, heartfelt thank you from yours truly. Because you've been helping the show grow, head on over to leftyshow.podbean.com to find the RSS feed or wherever you get your podcasts for your PC, mobile device, or tablet. Almost said device. What the hell would that have been? Nothing. Wherever you get your podcast, be sure to search The Lefty Show, The Lefty Show, Android. You would think I haven't been doing this for 99 episodes. You would think to hear these propers right now that I haven't been doing the damn show for 99 episodes. That's what you would think. You'd, like, you know, I'm Dr. Podcast, apparently, but still can't decide and keep doing a consistent proper. Or a set of propers. Anyway, Android or iOS, it does not matter. Search The Lefty Show wherever you get your podcasts. Be sure to subscribe. Take it with you wherever you go, on the go, and say, hey, check out this podcast. I think you'll enjoy it. Post it up in the break room. You got a forum you go to. Say, hey, check this out. He's good. He's good. As well as big heartfelt thanks to everybody, again, following me on Twitter at Lefty643, as well as donating to the show. I'mRaising.com/643 Productions is where you can do that. That's I'mRaising.com/643 Productions. All right, we got to get this show on the road and going here because I got some recording to do. And in the brand new NBA 2K15 that I got from actually the PlayStation Network. I bought it, downloaded it, digital. It's good. It was painless. The download was quick, incredibly quick. Maybe even a little bit faster than what I remember downloading games on Steam. But I don't know. Maybe I'm streaming I don't know when it's downloading in the background and when it's not. I don't know. But that was my first ever introduction to buying a game on a PlayStation 4, buying a digital game. Now, it was introduced in the last generation of consoles. In the last generation of consoles, later on in their life, you had the Xbox Live Arcade and the PlayStation Network or the PSN Store. You could go buy digital copies of games. But given the hard drive size of a lot of these consoles, especially the Xbox 360, I don't know what the PlayStation 3 was, buying and downloading a digital cacophony of games, your library, if you were trying to make it all digital, you couldn't do it because there wasn't enough hard drive space. Now, 500 gigs is about the standard. There's certainly going to be terabyte. Probably, I don't know. I don't know if it's in time for this Christmas. They haven't been hyping it, but certainly within the next 365 days, you're going to see a terabyte version of both next-generation consoles, the Xbox One and the PlayStation 4. And I say that because, at least on the PlayStation 4, day one digital, that's a thing, man. That is a thing. I was curious about it, a little bit timid, because I don't know, like Steam's digital distribution system. Steam's digital delivery system isn't bad. It's actually very good. It's good. And they've got the bandwidth that it's usually very, very quick. If you buy and download a game from Steam, usually very quick. You're going to be utilizing as much of your internet as is possible. I'm up there 15 megabits per second down is what I utilize. And because for those of you that may not be regular listeners to my show, whatever you pay for, usually like 30 to 40%, that's what you're getting. 30 to 40% of whatever your download speed is from your ISP. Let's say you pay for, let's keep it simple. Let's keep it in, tens are easy to do. So let's say you pay for 10 megabits per second download. That's the speed you get from Time Warner Cable, Comcast, whatever, Blast Communications, Cox Communications, whatever, right? You pay for 10 megabits per second down. Normally, you would expect that. And you go to speed test sites, you go to speedtest.net, you go to, I'm certain your ISP has its own proprietary speed test stuff, which is just the same thing, just rebranded with Comcast or Cox or Time Warner. And you go and they will show you 10 megabits per second down or thereabouts. You pay for 10 down, 2 up, 10 down, 5 up. That is probably, unless you're having internet trouble, that is what you're going to see on a speed test site. But the thing not a lot of people know, which, I have a hard time drawing the definition, not drawing the line, but what people don't tend to realize is there's a difference between what speed tests show you and what you are actually able to effectively utilize. Think of it like this. What you see on a speed test is more often than not your theoretical capacity. That is the theoretical tunnel outlined for you in your internet service provider's network. They say, okay, Joe Blow at this ISP, we recognize this router. However they do it, again, technical mumbo jumbo, but certainly more people can explain it a lot better. But your ISP's network can say, okay, Joe Blow, we realize this is Joe Blow. Now, Joe Blow, what does he pay for? All right, he pays for 10 and 5, 10 down, 5 up. We will give him a theoretical maximum in our network of that. And when you go to sites like Speed Test, that's what they're testing. They are testing that theoretical. They're sending fake data. It's not real. It's not a real communication. They're just sending empty stuff. Testing that theoretical limit. And they say, oh, well, you've got a theoretical tunnel of 10 in the downstream tunnel and 5 megabits per second in the upstream tunnel. And many people, often enough, take that and they go on about their business. Say, oh, I got 10 and 5. Hell yeah. Watch me some Netflix. It's going to be good. It is good. Netflix is good. But what you don't realize is that in terms of actually communicating, because that's what the internet is actually sending data. Not just packets. You send packets that have things in them to read and write and do all this stuff. And your actual bandwidth that you are able to utilize, usually I've found, is about 30 to 40% of what you pay for. Maybe 50. Maybe 50. If you're lucky. And of course it depends. It also depends on with whom you're communicating to. Because Steam there's like 500 megabit per second connections out there. Steam is not going to pay because what's download for you is upload for Steam. So Steam or Valve isn't going to pay for 500 megabits per second to send you a game. There is a theoretical upper limit. But usually, it's a lot bigger. Sites like YouTube, sites like Steam, Origin, Netflix, they have way more bandwidth to give you than you probably are paying for. Way more. So you pay for that 10 down, 5 up, but when you go to Steam, you'll probably find, that your download speeds max out at around 3 or 4 megabits per second. And if you try to upload, if you do the math, and YouTube's calculations on upload remaining time, I mean, I'm sure you could do it manually, in terms of when the upload starts versus when the upload is finished. But if you do the math as per what you can upload to Steam in terms of, or YouTube, the file size and how long it takes, your upload connection is probably going to be around 2.5 megabits per second. And it's crap. It's absolute crap. Because you pay for what you're really paying for. And of course, it's all covered in legalese. If you actually go to read the terms of your contract with whatever internet service provider, those numbers that you pay for, those big, nice, oh God, some of them are really cute, beautiful, honking ass numbers. You go, oh my God, 75 megabits per second download. Or, oh my God, 20 megabits per second upload. I need this. Oh my God, I need that. So you go and you pay. But if you actually read your contract, what it says is that those speeds are up to. And they are not. And if you, it really is just an illusory promise. Illusory. They say, we promise to give you these speeds if we feel like it. That's essentially what the contract says from the point of perspective of the ISP. They say you're going to get, you'll pay for you will have that theoretical tunnel, but the actual speeds that you get are whatever we give you is what we give you, and that's what you got to get. And that's a problem. For me at least, because I see that and I go, well, then you're just a snake oil salesman. You're not selling anything. You're selling a song and dream that you have absolutely no intention of fulfilling. I know when I was streaming a lot, and I would have to call Comcast all the time, and I say, listen, I'm paying you a lot of money for this upload speed, and I'm only able to utilize half of it. And the reason I know it's not the service that I'm streaming to is because when they tested and raised the limits, that theoretical upstream tunnel, for me, I was able to utilize more and not start dropping frames and better bandwidth. And I said, this is what you do. You have this theoretical tunnel in your network, but there's some skullduggery going on where your network says, yeah, we'll let speed test, Ookla. We will let them read the theoretical tunnel. But actually, effectively, practically sending data, real data, readable data. No. We can't have that. And then I ask them, why even advertise it? Well, obviously, because it sells, and nobody's going after ISPs. Everybody's been on throttling and data caps. You're always throttled. Always throttled. Throttling is not something that they just decide to do to you. You are always throttled. Your internet connection has a theoretical upper bound of what you pay for, but you are always, always, always limited to much less than that. And I get the practical implications of that on the network side. I understand. But then don't tell me you're going to give me these numbers, because you don't. You won't. And unless I have enough money, you can't. Because I guarantee you, if I had enough money to start litigate and all this stuff, I'd get what I pay for. Let's say I was paying for 10 megabits per second upload. I was only able to utilize about 5 or 6 Mbps when I was streaming. Practical example incoming. I was calling Comcast to complain regularly because that's crap. I'm paying for 10. I should be at least able to utilize 75, 80%. I'm not talking about always utilizing without fail 100% of my upstream. I realize that is unreasonable. But 50 to 60% as the maximum of what I pay for of a theoretical 100%, that's also unreasonable. They say, oh, well, we don't know. And I said, how about you try this? How about you kick me up to the next tier? But I'm only going to pay what I'm paying now. You kick me up to the next tier, which was a 20 megabit per second upload, and let me see what that's like. Let me see if that fixes it. If it They say, okay, we'll do it. So they say, all right, you're turned on. 20 megabits per second. All right. I was only able to utilize 9 or 10. Maybe 11 on a good day. They just shifted the goalposts. I was still getting 50 to 60% of the theoretical maximum. The maximum just moved to 20. And when you move the maximum to 20, and then you give me 40 in that range, 40 to 60%, then I get what I would have been paying for at the tier lower. Nothing changed. I wasn't actually utilizing more via percentage of that theoretical tunnel. It was just the same. The goalpost was just shifted. You know, they shift dragged or control dragged. They just made it a little bit larger. I'm still capped at the percentage that I can use of that bandwidth. And that's what it is. You're always throttled. And people, again, people like to make a big deal. Oh, my Netflix is being throttled, or my porn. Oh, my porn! Not my porn. My porn's being throttled. I wonder how many people like call their ISPs pissed off because porn won't load very fast. Like, how do you say that? How do you call up Comcast to bitch about the who is not uploading and not downloading fast enough? Like, yeah, I'm trying Comcast. I wonder if anybody's ever done that. That would be really funny. Just be honest about it. Don't lie. Everybody says Netflix, but I guarantee you there are many people who have called to complain about, quote, Netflix being throttled. They're really talking about Pornhub. What they really mean is, yeah, I was trying to watch this chick's boobies and it wasn't loading fast enough. It was all pixelated and stuff. It was in 240p. You can't spank it to 240p. You can't. That's not going to work. Might as well just think about something. 240p. My God, it's like that's worse than drunk goggles. 240p is worse than drunk goggles. They just look like a blob of humanity. Like I think that's a penis. I don't even know. But the point is, you're always being throttled. And the FCC, they know. There's no way they don't know. There's no way they don't know that this is what ISPs are doing. And imagine that happened anywhere else. Imagine that happened in any other business, in any other industry. Where they say, we're going to give you this for your money monthly. It's a service. We're going to give you this. And you only get half. You pay for milk. You pay the milkman. That was a big thing. There was in the 50s, and then there was a resurgence in the mid to late 90s and early 2000s. I think it's now completely gone away. But back in the days of a milkman, assume you signed up for milk service. Right? You go, all right, I'm going to pay you whatever, $50 a month, 75, 100. Milk brought to the door every day or every other day, whatever. You get different ones. You get the chocolate milk or some lemonade, pink lemonade. Oh, pink lemonade. Oh, so good. But then imagine let's say it's every day, but then you're only getting milk every other day. Imagine that's what you say, all right, I'm going to pay you $75 a month, but I want milk every day. I want one bottle of milk on my doorstep or at my apartment, the door frame every single day. That's what I want. Then the service starts, you pay the money, then you're only getting milk every other day. Half. Take half his shit. Good, oh God, Raw. I encourage all of you, if you're a fan of good comedy, stand-up specials, especially some of you younger kids out there. You might not know Eddie Murphy. Oh, Raw. Go watch Raw. Look it up. I believe it's on Netflix. So you're getting only milk, half your milk that you're paying for monthly. And then you call the milk guy and you're like, hey, I'm only getting half my milk. What is this? And they say, well, if you read your contract, it says that while we have a theoretical outline of milk supply for you that would otherwise constitute every other day, we are not necessarily required to provide that to you every day. We get it to you when we feel like it. And half is about as good as we can do. Have a nice day. Would any other industry allow that to happen? If there was an oversight committee for whatever industry, would they allow that to happen? Like, yeah, that sounds good. Yeah, write that off. They know it happens. The FCC does. Tom Wheeler was the head of a lobbying group for cable providers, for ISP. He effectively was he was a representative of Comcast, Time Warner Cable, Cox Communications, all these conglomerates. He was their agent. And now he's the head of the FCC and the head of the regulators of those other people. Yes, yeah, there we go. Yep. President Obama signed it. Ah, yes, he's going to do good work. Yes, this will work out fine. Judge, who is it? Justice, was it Roberts? Or was it Clarence Thomas? Represented Monsanto? What was part of a legal team representing Monsanto? He was lead counsel for Monsanto in a case that would later end up in front of the Supreme Court on which he was a justice. And Thomas, no conflict here. I'm not going to recuse myself. There's no conflict of interest here. There is absolutely no conflict of interest. Yes, I was lead counsel for Monsanto in this case. That now has percolated its way, it's percolated its way up to the Supreme Court. And no, nothing. I don't see a conflict here. None. I'm staying on this case. Oh, what did he rule? Oh, yeah. So Tom Wheeler, chairman of the FCC, all this is happening. Not to mention people aren't crying more about it's not like throttling is something that they decide to do to you. You're always throttled. You always have a bottle on your theoretical tunnel, on your respective theoretical tunnels in your ISP's network. Something reasonable. The FCC is a joke. Here's how much of a joke they are. Katie, girlfriend, love her very much, got me into The Walking Dead. And I don't need to be bothered with the first seasons or the setup or that crap. I watched the last 5 episodes of season 4 and I'm ready to go. I want season 5 to start. I'm like, all right, season 5 can go start quickly and I will promptly not watch it because I don't have cable. But when it gets to Netflix, goddammit, I'll tell you what, it's going to be good. He's good. So she got me into The Walking Dead. And I'm the kind of guy, it's not that I can't do gore. It's just that there's certain kinds of gore that weird me out. I'll put it to you this way. In Black Hawk Down, there's a scene where a guy gets blown in half. All right? And they show him being blown in half. It's just his torso. It's torso up. Legs, we don't know. We got nothing for you. We don't know where they went. That didn't gross me out. I was like, I don't recoil at that scene. I'm not like, oh my God. I'm like, that sucks. The guy gets his finger blown off or his thumb blown off. This again, same movie, Black Hawk Down. I'm all right. All right. The scene where they're reaching into the guy's thigh. It's but all right. I can't do Sweeney Todd, the Demon Barber of Fleet Street. I just can't do it. I'm fine with guys being blown in half in Somalia, but you get Johnny Depp slashing some throats with some incredibly bad orange blood, and I'm can't do it. The Walking Dead is kind of in the middle. There are some things where I'm just like, oh, that's pretty cool. They're popping zombies in the dome. Nice, good shot. There's other times, rip a guy's jaw apart. And I'm like, who was that guy? Rick, chomps on a dude's throat. And I'm like, whoa, wow. Did not see that one coming. Then I had an epiphany while watching The Walking Dead. Sorry, there's crap on my new microphone condom. Or windscreen, sorry. I call it condom. Anyway, I had an epiphany while watching The Walking Dead. I realized this goes on cable. This isn't like the unedited version. This is what you see on AMC. Yeah, it's AMC. This is what you see on AMC weekly when The Walking Dead is on. And the FCC has oversight on what is shown on cable channels. Just because it's cable doesn't mean you can go around just showing whatever you want. There are still broadcast rules that are applied to cable networks by the FCC. They're relaxed. They are relaxed from what broadcast channels have to show, or can and cannot show, or can and cannot say. But there is still FCC oversight in terms of content, in terms of vulgarity, obscenity, gore, all those things. The FCC still has oversight. You can't keep going around showing boobies or just straight out penetration sex. You can't do that, even though you're a cable channel. Hell, even on the premium channels like HBO, Cinemax can't do it. Can't just go showing all out porn. You got that softcore stuff where it's just badly pantomimed. To make up for the lack of actually showing the deed, the woman just thrashes her head about in a guy's crotch. Like, that would hurt. I watch that and I go, that's not sexy. That looks like it would hurt. If that was happening to me, I'd say, stop it. What are you doing? Screw it. I'm done. I'm just going to go play video games, I think. I don't want this. And my point is this. The Walking Dead, as gory as it is, and people can find that offensive. And like I've said, there are some scenes where I'm like, that's woo. That's offensive. It offends my sensibilities. The gore does, and that's why there is oversight in that by the FCC, right? The FCC allows AMC to do that, allows the directors, the producers of The Walking Dead to make that show. And that show appears before the FCC. The FCC, bam, bam, go to air. I don't want to ever hear the FCC talk about Redskins ever again. I don't want to hear it. You, the FCC, hypocritical biatches all, in many respects, not just this. We just talked about the ISP thing. But you allow The Walking Dead to happen with the gore, the brutality, the violence. The spoiler alert, all right, I'm going to say it fairly. Spoiler alert for The Walking Dead. Are you ready? All right. The killing of children, not shown, but heavily implied. The murdering of children. You allow that to be shown. Now you got a bone to pick with Redskins? Now, we can heavily imply that these two children get murdered in cold blood, and we can show ripping a zombie's face off, or a zombie chomping out your throat, or one human ripping out the throat via his teeth of another, and that's all good as good. The brutal, cold-blooded murder of people, episode in and episode out, that's all good. But you can't say Redskins, by golly. You cannot say Redskins on the air. That's enough. I understand Redskins is offensive to some people, but just in the aggregate, what do you think is more offensive to more people? The term Redskins, used in a non-pejorative context, because yes, context matters, even for a slur such as Redskins, context matters. Redskins being used just as a noun and not pejoratively. Not say, those Redskins, gotta go get them. No, just the Washington Redskins, the football team, a complete disassociation from any connotation in which it could be used pejoratively. You're going to say, that's offensive. What's more offensive, that or showing somebody get their face ripped off? Rip his face off. No, FCC, no more talk about that. I don't want to hear you say word one anymore, or word two, I guess, about Redskins. About, we might not, we got something to say. We got something to say about that. It's hypocritical crap. Because again, and I'll say this, more on the FCC, talking about potentially finding broadcasters And before you talk about the difference between broadcast and cable, so then they're going to find CBS when a Redskins game is shown on CBS or Fox, but not when the Redskins play on Monday Night Football? Is that what you're saying? Because Monday Night Football is shown on ESPN, and ESPN is a cable network. So then ESPN broadcasters, Mike Tirico and Chucky, John Gruden, aren't going to be fined for saying Redskins, but Phil Simms or Joe Buck and Troy Aikman, they will. Don't give me that crap. The FCC, as an arm of the government, would be enacting a law changing the kinds of speech that are allowed. It is a free speech issue. When the FCC gets involved, it's a free speech issue. Now, and the FCC has ruled there are some things you just can't say on broadcast television, and that has been, I'm not sure if it's been challenged, but it seems like a reasonable restriction of speech. Okay, but it's still a discussion you have to have. It's a speech issue. It's a restriction of free speech. Let's see if this holds muster, if this holds water, or if this passes muster or holds water. There we go. And one of the things that you have to worry about when restricting speech or restricting any right is the chilling effect that it may have on the exercise or the exercising of otherwise legal things. So does restricting this speech on broadcast networks or on broadcasts governed by the FCC, does restricting that speech have a chilling effect on the ability of owners of private entities to call those entities whatever they want? And yes, it does. Unconstitutional. Wrong. Can't do it. On top of the fact that it's incredibly hypocritical because you show The Walking Dead and the Sons of Anarchy dealing drugs, running women, and all these horrible things that are shown on TV readily, and everybody gobs it up. The Walking Dead is one of the most heralded shows on television. Breaking Bad wrapped up a couple of years ago, or last year. Breaking Bad, The Walking Dead, Sons of Anarchy. Always Sunny in Philadelphia. Watch that. What happens in that show? That's all okay. The FCC, that's good. It's good. But Redskins, we got to be careful about that. You can't be going around saying Redskins on national television. It's just, get that crap out of here. It's a court of public opinion issue. That's it. The government should not be getting involved. Let's do some news. All right, we got a lot to talk about in the news today. Sorry, there was a threshold, or there was a gate on that feed, and it was making it sound weird. Anyway, we got a lot to talk about in the news today. Jennifer Lawrence has finally broken her silence on the recent nude photo leak. For those of you that don't know, J-Law was part of a slew of celebrities that were affected by the leak of over many years. Collection of nude photos of celebrities from various email and cloud hacks. And J-Law, again, she was part of the first leak, which was called the Fappening, I believe. And then pictures continued to flow. New ones. Just, oh, Jesus, like, here's her butthole. Oh, my God. It's J-Law. Now Jennifer Lawrence has finally spoken on the issue, and she was in this month's Vanity Fair. I think it's monthly. This is from abcnews.go.com. A few weeks ago, Jennifer Lawrence was among the stars who had nude photos leaked on the internet. Now she's breaking her silence about the, quote, sexual violation she and other celebs endured. Quote, it's not a scandal, it's a sex crime, Lawrence told Vanity Fair. It's disgusting. The law needs to be changed, and we need to change. That's why these websites are responsible. Just the fact that somebody can be sexually exploited and violated, and the first thought that crosses somebody's mind is to make a profit from it. It's so beyond me. I just can't imagine being that detached from my humanity, or from humanity. I can't imagine being that thoughtless and careless and so empty. At the time of the hack, a rep for Lawrence, 28, released a statement condemning the leak, but the actress herself stayed silent. While she said she considered speaking out, every single thing that I tried to write made me cry or get angry, she explained. I started to write an apology, but I don't have anything to say I'm sorry for, she said. I was in a loving, healthy, great relationship for 4 years. It was long distance, and either your boyfriend is going to look at porn or he's going to look at you. Well, I like that. That's a pretty good outlook. Like, all right, well, either you're going to look at porn and then call Comcast because it's not loading fast enough and say, hey, you're throttling me. Oh, I'm trying to throttle myself and you're throttling my internet. What's going on here, Comcast? J-Law said, oh, well, here, look at me instead. Here you go. All right, it's good. She also had choice words for those who sneaked a peek at her photos. Anybody who looked at those pictures, you're perpetuating a sexual offense. You should cower with shame, she said. Even people who I know and love say, oh yeah, I looked at the pictures. I don't want to get mad, but at the same time I'm thinking, I didn't tell you that you could look at my naked body. Telling her family about the photos was even more difficult than figuring out what to say to the public. However, she joked her dad was on the golf course and in a good mood. Now she's trying to move forward too. Time does heal, she said. I'm not crying about it anymore. I can't be angry anymore. I can't have my happiness rest on these people being caught because they might not be. I need to just find my own peace. And, okay, that's a good outlook from Jennifer Lawrence. But here's the thing, and I victim shaming is going to come up again, I'm sure. But, you took those photos. She again, strong words. Anybody who looked at that, you're perpetuating a sexual offense. And I've seen the photos. She's accusing me of being a sexual criminal. And the people who leaked the photos and the websites who hosted the photos, perpetuating a sexual crime or violation of some kind. And I just, Jennifer, sweetheart, baby, you took the pictures. You took them all. Or maybe your boyfriend did. You allowed the pictures to be taken. These were not creep shots. These were not some guy who rented a hotel room like at the same level of yours across the street and had a telephoto lens. Not some guy who like climbed a tree outside your property and was like, click, click, click. You took all of these pictures of yourself. You sent them. And you chose to store them. I didn't take the pictures of you. You were the one who took them, sent them, communicated them in some way, and stored them in a couple different areas. What do you want from me? Here's what it is. Okay, because again, the initial break-in, the initial accessing of the account to take the files, those image files, is a crime. That's a crime. You can't do that because regardless of how easy it was to get into her account, and regardless of how it's done, okay, if you have a house and you leave the door unlocked all the time, hell, even if you leave the door wide open when you go to work, if somebody goes into your house to take stuff, they have still committed a crime. That is still a crime. Now, how you've contributed via your negligence to this crime being committed upon you, or to this tort being committed upon you, and you aren't as damaged necessarily because you didn't do a whole lot to stop it. So you may not be able to go after that person civilly, but that person still that person still entered a home where they weren't supposed to be and took things that were not theirs and were not intended for them in any way. That is still a crime, yes. What Jennifer Lawrence is doing is accusing the people to second and third hand down the line who go to buy the jewelry that was the product of this break-in. I knocked over my damn pad again. And saying, "Oh, you committed, you are just as bad as the guy that broke into the house. You are perpetuating a burglary on me because yeah, I left my door open, and somebody else who wasn't you came in and took those things and took that bracelet. And yes, that bracelet has been handed off 2 or 3 times before it ended up here on this, sidewalk. And now you're buying it, and you have no idea how it came into these people's possession, but you're buying it. You're committing a crime. No. People are going to, I looked at it. What do you want from me? Don't try to shame people and actually accuse people of crimes who had nothing at all to do with the breach or dissemination. There was the breach and then the dissemination of the ill-gotten goods. Your goods. Okay. Well, that's from a civil standpoint, that's a little bit on you. Mainly on them, but that's between you and them. The people who went to the various websites to look at. Okay, what do you have a problem with them for? You make a living being an object for people. That's your living. When there's finally the big reveal, when there's finally here's Jennifer Lawrence's boobies. Here's her doing nasty things to herself. Not really nasty, probably pretty good. People are going to look because that's what you've predicated yourself on. That's what you've predicated your celebrity on. Oh, but you're a sexual offense. Get out of here. Go after the people that did it, whoever it is. The people that originally accessed your account where they weren't supposed to be to take things that were not theirs. Go after them. They're the actual criminals. Don't try to shame people who are just, hey, do you want to see Jennifer Lawrence's boobs? Okay. Oh, you're a criminal. Oh, sexual offense. Get out of here. Sexual violation, my ass. And that gets to another point because there were people that go, yeah, sexual violation, sexual crime. Yeah, everybody's a criminal. Yeah. Here's how, and here's the other thing. You don't hear Justin Verlander crying, do you? His penis. It's all over the internet. You don't hear him going, sexual crime. I'm the victim of a sexual crime. Here's how backwards and one-sided our society's outlook on sexual crimes goes. Here's a story from, let's see, Forestville. There we go. I don't know where. Prosecutors asked for a 3-week delay Monday before they decide whether to drop charges against a Guerneville man who was arrested on suspicion of rape but released from jail when evidence emerged pointing to his innocence. David Cosales, 24, had hoped to be cleared Monday but said he understood the district attorney's office needs to thoroughly review the case. Quote, "It's a ridiculous situation," he said outside of the courtroom. "I spent 17 days in jail for something I didn't do." Cosales was arrested August 31st, one day after an 18-year-old woman told Sonoma County Sheriff's detectives that she had been raped by a masked man with a knife at El Molino High School. She initially told detectives she didn't know the man, but said he had a distinctive tattoo. Detectives arrested Cosales based on the tattoo description and that he was driving a vehicle matching one seen in school surveillance tapes from the same night. Prosecutors filed a 6-count complaint against Cosales on September 3rd, including kidnapping to commit rape, which itself is punishable by life in prison. The woman later told detectives she knew Cosales. Investigators found cell phone records connecting the two, including a text message from the woman inviting him for sex, according to Cosales' attorney, Evan Zelig. The attorney has said the woman made up the story because she missed her curfew and because Cosales had refused to lend her $20. Cosales and the woman had met at the school that night and started their tryst inside a borrowed Porsche SUV he was driving, but then moved us to a spot near the tennis courts because the car alarm was sounding, the defense attorney said. Wait a second. When they say borrowed, do they mean stolen? Is that selective use of borrowed? Because, hey, I borrowed this from a friend and I brought it to go, All right. but the car alarm keeps going off. What? Turn it off. You're in the car. You're in command of the vehicle. Why aren't you turning off the car alarm if you've got the keys, you've got the dongle? Oh, the dongle. If you've got the dongle, what do you turn it off? Something tells me that he borrowed that Porsche in like a loosely like, oh yes, I wink wink borrowed this nice Porsche SUV so that I could drive to this high school to bang this 18-year-old. Oh no! Oh God, the car alarm's going off. I don't know, honey. I don't understand why. I have no idea. It's new. I don't know. I don't understand the dongle, how it works. Yeah, let's just go to the tennis courts to continue the stooping. The stooping. On September 18th, a judge released Casales from jail after prosecutor Brian Stable announced in court that investigators found evidence that may clear him of the assault. Investigators with the Sonoma County Sheriff's Office and District Attorney's Office are still combing through a trove of cell phone data in an effort to sort out what took place between the two, Stable said by phone after Monday's hearing. So Jennifer Lawrence cries sexual crime, and people go, oh, yeah. In our society, this girl says, oh, that guy raped me. And this guy was immediately arrested and charged with 6 counts, felony counts, kidnapping to commit rape. Arrested and booked on those charges, meaning that's there for life. For life, those 6 counts. You're charged with, among other things, kidnapping with intent to rape on every single job application he fills out. That's going to show up. Either he's going to volunteer it or it's going to show up on a background check. All because this 18-year-old broad said, he raped me. Well, okay, fine, let's arrest him and charge him with this heinous crime. Oh, now we're investigating. Oh, wait a second. There's cell phone data that shows her texting him, the victim, texting the guy we arrested and asking him to come over and do the nasty. Oh, well, maybe he didn't rape her. Maybe it's not rape. Now, some people are going to justify this and rationalize it away and say, well, it's not that bad because this time around, the guy got off. The guy's going to get off. There's no way they can't drop the charges now. They're going to drop the charges and he's going to get off, right? He did get off and now he's going to get off again off of the very serious criminal charges. And I say, well, that's good. But here's the thing. What happens if the prosecutor doesn't want to drop him? What happens if, in another case, where a woman just says, this guy raped me and he had a distinctive tattoo of something. This guy raped me. And then that guy's arrested, charged with very serious crimes because the guy was there. The guy was there and he did have sex with the girl, which is how she could describe the tattoo. But all she had to say was, he kidnapped me and raped me. And she described the tattoo. And then, arrest him. Charge him with serious crimes. What happens if the prosecutor doesn't want to drop him? Or what happens the next time if the prosecutor, there's evidence of, well, let me tell you something, counsel. These text messages here show the victim texting the defendant asking to do the dirty. And what did she say? She actually says it right here, like, come over and do the dirty with me. I think the dirty means his penis in her vagina. What do you make of that? Oh, that's nothing. That's immaterial. Let's have that stricken. We don't need to bring that up or anything. What if the prosecutor wants to go forward? Say, nope, screw it. Prosecuting him. Good luck. And then a jury returns a guilty verdict. That's justice? Because it's very clear what happened. They did the stumping. The girl missed her curfew. Was, oh, dang it. You lent me $20. The guy said, no, screw you. Well, I mean, I just did, but I don't want to do it again. I got to go. And her response to that was, he raped me. And now this guy, arrested, charged with 6 felonies, 6 counts, one of which is an incredibly serious felony, which will follow him around for life. And then there's Jennifer Lawrence claiming that she's a victim of a sexual violation, a sexual offense. And anybody that looks at the pictures are violating her sexually. Kiss my ass and call it a love story. The entire way we deal with rape is sensationalized and backwards and stupid. Because when the word rape comes up, the entire notion of our justice system being set up to let 10 guilty men go free so that not one innocent man be put in jail goes out the window. It's just, oh my God, rape? Well, screw it all. The process, screw that. Just arrest him and charge him. A broad idiot bitch carrying around that stupid mattress. Her hoity-toity college. Oh yeah, just expel this guy and arrest him on charges because I say so. Do you have any evidence? Well, no. Didn't you? And you waited a year before you even said anything. Well, yeah. What the hell do you want? I'm telling you, it's done. We should just give up. Scrap it all, start over. Scrap it all and start over. Let Reddit decide. Twitter. Let them be the judge and jury. There you go. That will make sure that everybody's happy, right? If popular culture gets to decide, if popular society, social media, if those people get to decide the outcomes, won't everybody be happier? It seems that that's what people tend to think. Oh, well, they got it wrong. Oh, outrage. Can't happen again. All right. Just there you go. Fix that. No. He's guilty. Got to do it. Resentence that man because I disagree. Oh, okay. Bam. It seems like everybody wants it, and it seems like we'll all be a good bit happier. But, I don't want any part of that system. How's Canada looking this time of year? Let's bring it home. Another great episode of The Lefty Show. I thank you all for joining. I had a great time putting on the show for you. I hope you had a great time listening. Thank you to everybody for watching, liking, favoriting, subscribing on YouTube. YouTube.com/LeftyOX is where you can go to find the show. In its YouTube formation, you can also find gaming and vlogging content there. YouTube.com/LeftyOX. Thank you to everybody that's been following me on Twitter. @Lefty643 is where you can do that. Stay up to date on all the latest and greatest Lefty Show news. And be sure to subscribe to the show wherever you get your podcasts for your PC, tablet, or mobile device. Android, iOS, it does not matter. Just search The Lefty Show. Be sure to subscribe, download all the episodes there at your leisure, and share it with friends and family. I thank you to everybody for doing that. Thank you to everybody that's been donating. I'mRaising.com/643 Productions is where you can do that. Anyway, guys, that's my time. I got to get out of here. Thank you for joining. I hope you enjoyed. Catch you next time. I'm out. Bye.
He's got AIDS.